Okay, thank you everybody. I'd just like to let members of the public gallery should note that the Council records and publishes Council meetings via YouTube to enhance the accessibility of Council meetings to the broader Wellington community. These recordings are also archived and may be published on Council's website for viewing by the public or used for publicity or information purposes. At the appropriate times during the meeting, members of the gallery may address the Council, at which time their image, comments or submissions will be recorded. Members of the public who are not in attendance at the council meeting but who wish to communicate with the Council via the online web form should lodge their questions or comments early in the meeting to ensure that their submissions can be dealt with at the end of the meeting. Please could gallery visitors, councillors and invited online attendees ensure that mobile phones and other electronic devices are turned off or in silent mode for the duration of the meeting. I'll now read the Acknowledgement of Country. Wellington Shire Council acknowledges our offices are located on the traditional lands of the Gunai-Kurnai Nation. We pay our deep respects to their elders, past, present and future, and acknowledge their ongoing cultural and spiritual connections to their land and waters. Our first item on the agenda is apologies, and we have two apologies tonight, one from Mayor Rossetti and one from Councillor Bannerman. I'll now move on to declaration of conflicts of interest. Are there any councillors who would like to declare a conflict of interest tonight? No, thank you. So the next item is item number 3, which is confirmation of the minutes of the previous council meetings. Do I have someone that would like to move that? Councillor Fote, and second is Councillor Stevens. With you, Councillor Fote.
Thank you. I move that the Council adopt the minutes and resolutions of the ordinary council meeting of 17th of December 2025. Should be 24, but...
Yes, very good point, Councillor Fote. That should read 24, so we'll make that correction.
Fantastic.
We haven't got to 25.
No. Well done. And if there's no oppositions, that motion is passed? Correct. Is that right? Yes, good. Fantastic.
Councillor Fote wants to speak to that.
Councillor Fote, do you wish to speak to that? No, fantastic. Thank you. Item number...
Councillor Madeley.
Oh, sorry.
Thank you. This isn't a point of order,
Stevens.
but you got a seconder before the mover had actually moved the motion. Normally we get the mover of the motion to move it and state the motion and then seek a seconder. Sorry,
Great.
it's a point
Fantastic.
of procedure.
Thank you very much, Councillor Stevens. I will not make that mistake again. Great. Item number 4 is business arising from the previous meetings, of which there is none. Thank you. Item number 5 is acceptance of late and urgent items, of which there are none. Item number 7 is receiving of petition or joint letters, of which there are none. I'll now move on to item number 8, which is invited addresses, presentations or acknowledgements. Are there any councillors who would like to speak about... Thank you. Councillor Fote.
Thank you. This one is to proudly recognise our very own Councillor John Tatterson for his outstanding 50 years of dedicated service to the Sale Mafra Cricket Association. His commitment and passion for the sport have left a lasting impact, and his legacy will continue to influence the game for years to come. So thank you for your contribution to cricket. Well done, John.
Thank you.
Well done, Councillor Tatterson. Is there anyone else? Councillor Ripper?
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. I'd like to acknowledge Australia Day in the Wellington Shire. The Wellington Shire had Australia Day events, 14 in total, from Yarram to Dargo, and all in between north and south of that area. Also, community awards were handed out to a large amount of the community awards are mainly volunteers. Volunteers were running the Australia Day Awards and volunteers were the recipients of the Australia Day Awards. So congratulations to all those. And in Sale, a citizenship ceremony was held with 40 new citizens in Australia and closer to home to the Wellington Shire. So that was, and welcome to all those citizens from 17 countries. And Mayor Rossetti officiated, and we had the Federal Honourable Darren Chester, MP, and Danny O'Brien, MP, the state member, in place to help hand out citizenship certificates and plants. So I believe it was a good day, and thank all those from the Shire here who helped set that day up. There's always those people who have to do the work before everyone arrives. So thank you very much.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Councillor Ripper. I was lucky enough to attend Australia Day in Locksport this year. And like you said, it was run by the Lions Club of Locksport and it was a great event. So many people from the community there in attendance. Is there anyone else that would like to speak? Councillor Tatterson.
I will, if Councillor Fates opened the door to talking about local cricket. Thank you very much. Last weekend, the finals of the regional Gippsland Cricket League Championships were held, both held in the Sale Mafra area. The women's cricket was held out at Bundalagua Cricket Club and Sale Mafra won that competition, and the men's final was held between Sale Mafra and Bensdale at Stratford, which Sale Mafra were also successful in that. So congratulations to all those clubs involved and the players that were successful over the weekend.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. I'll now move to item number 9, which is questions on notice.
None, Deputy Mayor.
Thank you. And item number 10, delegates' reports, of which there are none. Item 11.1 is the Council Performance Report for December 2024. Do I have a councillor to move that? Thank you, Councillor Lowe.
I would like to move that the Council, 1, receive and note the December 24 Council Performance Report as attached, and 2, endorse the Chief Executive Officer's advice that a revised 2024-25 budget is not required.
Fantastic. Do I have a seconder for that? Councillor Stevens. Thank you. Councillor Lowe, would you like to speak to that? Oh, sorry. Is that motion opposed? No. That motion is carried. Fantastic. Councillor Lowe, would you like to speak to that?
Yep. Background, the December 2024 Council Performance Report comprises an overview of Council finances. This includes an income statement, a balance sheet with commentary regarding any major variances, information on cash balances, the level of rates outstanding, and the progress update on Council's capital works program.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Councillor Lowe. I'll now move to item 12, which is General Manager of Corporate Services, and item 12.1, the Assembly of Councillors Report. Do I have someone to move that? Thank you, Councillor Tatterson.
Yes.
Sorry. Yep. Thank you, Councillor Tatterson.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm happy to move that Council note and receive the attached Assembly of Councillors record for the period 9 December to 28th of January 2025.
Thank you. Do I have someone to second that? Thank you, Councillor Stevens. Is that motion opposed? That motion is carried. Councillor Tatterson?
No, nothing further to add.
Fantastic. Thank you. We'll now move on to item 12.2, which is the Audit and Risk Committee minutes. Do I have someone to move those? Thank you, Councillor Lowe.
I would like to move that 1, the Council receive and note the minutes in brief of the Audit and Risk Committee of 9th of December 2024 as attached, and the confidential attachment Audit and Risk Committee minutes of 9th of December 2024. 2, note that the information contained in the confidential document Audit and Risk Committee minutes of the 9th of December 2024 of this council meeting agenda was designated confidential under section 3-1, confidential information of the Local Government Act 2020 by the General Manager, Corporate Services on the 12th of December 2024 because it relates to the following grounds. E, legal privilege information, and I, information that was confidential information for the purposes of section 77 of the Local Government Act 1989.
Thank you very much. Do I have someone to second the minutes? Thank you, Councillor Fote. Is that opposed? Then that motion is carried. Thank you. Councillor Lowe, would you like to speak to that motion?
No, thank you.
Thank you. We now move to item 13, which is gallery and online comments. I believe we have 3 questions that have been received, and I'll pass to you, Mr. CEO. Thank
you, Deputy Mayor. Yes, we do. Just bear with me for 2 seconds while I bring it up. I might just bring it up in front of me, though. Thank you, Councillor. The first one is from, and I'll just paraphrase these only because some of them are quite long and all councillors have now been provided with all 3 queries. The first one's from Mr. Hayden Nicol. His query is around food and green organics bins, and that a lot of councils in Melbourne have got them, but we have yet to have a green waste bin, and why not? There are a number of reasons, and council's been appraised of that before about what some of the challenges are in Gippsland and when in fact our rollout will happen, which is imminent. So we will provide Mr. Nicol with a response within 7 days, and we'll copy that to all councillors. The second one is from Mr. Anthony Zidorich. I apologise if I've got that wrong. His issue is around again, it's quite a long query, so I won't read it all, but it's around food security and some of the food pressures for a lot of people within Wellington Shire, and particularly around our human rights obligations. That's a slightly more complex answer, but there are a number of things that we're considering within the council budget. So we'll provide Mr. Zidorich with a response in relation to that, and also some of the work we're doing partnering with other agencies as well in Gippsland around food security. And the final question we had online, which is from Mr. Dean Hurlston. Mr. Hurlston is, I think, the main public face office bearer, I think he is, for a statewide group called Council Watch, which is based in Melbourne. They ask all councils a number of questions from time to time. I believe this is a question that's been asked of all 79 councils, and it's around what council spends on catering for councillor and staff meals during councillor meetings. So
You're right.
is that okay?
Yep.
We'll provide Mr. Hurlston with a response to that. We'll give him the data and we'll copy that to councillors as well. And that's it, Deputy Mayor.
Fantastic, thank you. We've just noticed that we've got the dates as 20th of January 2024. So for the first 2 questions, if we could update that to 2025, please. I hope it didn't take us a year to get back to their question.
It's all good.
Fantastic. I will now call for any questions or comments from the gallery, if we have anyone that would like to speak.
Just ask him for his name and his reasons.
Great, thank you. If you'd just like to introduce yourself, thank you.
Yeah, it's Alan Hayward from Pearsondale. Through you, Deputy Chair, I'd like to speak to the councillors briefly. This is a short note regarding damage to a levee bank not far from here on the property owned by the Rivers Inn Apartments complex at Warwick. This levee was built by the Latrobe River Improvement Trust in the 1980s with government funding. The levee helps prevent Thompson River floodwater spilling into the Warwick and Pearsondale area, which is in the Latrobe catchment. Approximately 20 years ago, this levee was partly removed, unknowingly, by the owner of the premises at the time, and from 2013, I've been trying to get this repaired. I understand this Shire is responsible for earthworks under flood overlay. So the question today is, was it a mistake that our Shire did not move to have the damage repaired after I raised this issue in 2013? I've not received an answer. Also, why is it that in recent correspondence to me by Mr Morecambe and Mr Hastie, they have suggested that I contact the Ombudsman if I'm not happy with having no answer? And I just thought it was ridiculous because the Ombudsman won't know the answer to this. So I'd like to put it back in the court of the Shire to answer my simple question, please. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Someone?
Thank you, Mayor. So what I might do is just, Alan, make sure that we've got the pertinent details of your inquiry. So Chris, I might get just to follow up with you straight after the meeting. Alan, I'll get Chris just to follow up with you just to make sure we've got the exact details of your query, and we'll get back to Mr Hayward in 7 days and provide councillors with a response, Deputy Mayor.
Great. Fantastic. Thank you. Okay, and with no need to go into closed session, I declare the meeting closed at 5:16, which is unfortunately a new record, apparently for the shortest meeting. I was so close. So we will now end the YouTube